My name is Stefan. I'm going to be your host today. Welcome to our webinar, Why Move Wisefish to the Cloud. We're going to have quite sort of easy agenda. I'm going over a bit of a brief history to start with. Many of you are maybe coming from an older Navision or NAV versions. So let's just reflect back on what has changed past years. Then we're going to dwell a bit on the roadmap for this year for both Wisefish and a bit of Business Central, see where Microsoft is heading. But then we're going to dig into why cloud? What is the value of the cloud? Is there a return of investment that we can relate to? And then show you some application from us that is only available if you're going to the cloud, which we call Wisefish Insights, for example. So what has happened in Navision, NAV, or then Business Central for the past 10, 14 years? Well, if you're coming from the NAV 6 or older, you remember what we call the big fat client. That one was split up into what is called 3-tier architecture, which is basically just separating the application server from the database server, and with then data caching and multi-threading for better performance and scalability, putting the path for the future. Then there was a new client. We had a few new clients, but the latest one is a very modern web and tablet client that adapts to different screen sizes, is touch optimized for tablet and mobile devices, and has this nice visual representation of data, embedded Power BI reports, etc. capabilities. Then we had new development and environment and development language. Now that may be nothing much for the end user, but for us as a partner, as a developer, as an IT company, it catapulted us into this century. So we have now simplified code creation, deployment. We manage the application lifecycle much better with extension-based customization, where the source code itself is protected, and we as a developer into the system are only giving access to the base source code via events. So Microsoft is also protecting their IP and also protecting the consistency and of the product. Then we had standardized API, or application programming interfaces, and this allowed Office integrations, Power BI integrations, and it's basically the standard integration for third-party systems. It even allows for CRM, Excel, and also other ERP systems. And then Copilot is basically on the horizon. Now, for you that don't know Copilot, it's basically an AI-assisted tool that provides suggestions and guidance to enhance and streamline your work. It's like offering real-time recommendation and automated solution for data entry, report generation, financial analysis, and workflow optimization. So it significantly enhances efficiency and accuracy when managing your business processes. Now, other additions came like HRM, we integrated HRM capabilities to help business manage employee information. We had item attributes and categories for improved inventory management, personalization of the whole client with field to be read-only or even visible, and in what order they should be on your screen for easy data entry. We have AI-powered sales and inventory forecasting, cash flow forecasting, and then automation, like auto-insert recurring sales and purchase lines. And then we are now starting to see significant growth in the onboarding and in-product help, which is helping us to onboard customers and for you to onboard yourself quicker and have help accessible from within the product. Now, what has happened in the Wisefish? With this new development language and development environment, that meant that we had to basically recode the whole system and refactor it into the new extension-based methodology. That work was completed during basically last year. I think we put the last processes in, but we have been doing this constantly for the past 4 years now. But the trader functionality has been improved quite dramatically to meet different trading processes, quote agreement, blanket agreements, and delivery agreements, and all facilitate the different trading processes, both supply-driven and demand-driven. Then we have enhancement in linking sales and supplier, whether it's purchase or production, and a cost improvement for margin calculation, for example, for additional purchase and sales-related costs. The warehouse supports user operating and managing barcoded pallets and related trade items within a warehouse. It handles both the company's own items and then third-party storage items. It has a complete time-stamped activity log for all pallet movement history, and it handles the warehouse calculations, auto-creating invoices for receipt fees, delivery fees, and storage fees per pallet per day for a given period. And it also connects to jobs and tasks for charging customer for warehouse services provided in a commercial warehouse. Now, Intercompany has been available in NAV and Business Central for a while, but have not dealt with trade items, which is sort of the core, heart, and spine of Wisefish. So the intercompany functionality allows the user to exchange purchase and sales agreements between companies, and even now on different tenants. That is currently in testing, but now we can actually connect different tenants in that intercompany functionality. So that is reducing work and increasing data quality, obviously. Now, furthermore, an option to use one company as an item master with automatic updates in the other companies now also possible. Cost settlement is quite important for traders and exporters, for example. It allows you to do cost adjustment without moving or adjusting any stocks. So giving sort of discounts from your purchases, where you are purchasing from and to the one that you're selling to without moving any stocks. It's quite vital to have a simple inventory management. Now then we have Wisefish Insights and Wisefish Streams, which I will come back to later in the presentation. And then we have Codit and Inno integration, where we connect seamlessly to your factory floor software. That's eliminating the need for double entry, and then, of course, hence minimizing the human error risk when entering data. Sort of that's brief history of Business Central and Wisefish. So let's look into the future a bit. So in the first 6 months of 2024, we are focusing on green accounting. And we are releasing this into our fishing, trader, production, and logistic modules within the first 2 quarters. Then we are adding reception and sourcing from farmed fish, the aquaculture industry, into our production and trading modules. And obviously also then with the green accounting. We are working on API. We are extending the standard Business Central API for sort of CRM integration, salary, or even that you can use now Wisefish with other ERP systems. So if you're using something else than Business Central for your Azure ERP, you can then use just Wisefish and then connect to Wisefish from your ERP system to get all the financial inventory, sales related data back and forth. Now, Wisefish Stream is a native app. So it's built for barcode scanners, handhelds and other mobile devices for all inventory management. So it's both if you are moving pallets on the warehouse floor, if you're shipping or receiving goods, quality inspection, taking images. If you're on like a mobile phone, you can take image and link it to a pallet. And we are doing this, going to have it in sort of 2 flavors. So it's going to be for both for Android and Microsoft devices. iOS will come in 2025 if the needs arise for it, but we are aiming for the sort of barcode scanners and tablets in the Android and Windows world. And then we have the Wisefish portals. We are working on this business-to-business, basically web portals, with emphasis on the self-service capabilities for your customers to order your products, your goods, to get invoices, sort of history, related legal documentation needed for the product, like certifications, sustainability info from the green accounting, etc. Now, Microsoft is also quite busy. This is basically what came out in the last release. They have, if you don't know, they have 2 release waves per year. So the second release wave for 2023 included the multi-company. They are basically introducing a company hub where you can manage your financial work across multiple companies or have a multiple company overview in one window. The analysis mode is quite neat. It allows end users and data analysts to analyze data directly on the pages within the application in like a matrix pivot style tables. And you can add various tabs and save them for future use. So this means that you can examine information without need to open Excel or run a separate report directly from your list pages. Power Automate, they are always integrating this more and more to the rest of the Power Platform and to Office or Microsoft 365, obviously. But with Power Automate, you can streamline your Microsoft Business Central task by automating routine processes or integrating data across services, and enables you to create workflows to optimize efficiency and reduce manual entry. And what they are sort of focusing on for this year is more collaboration. They are focusing on chatting with Copilot. So you can ask your Copilot on how to analyze this, how to automate this process, etc., directly from within Business Central. Sustainability journals, which goes sort of quite hand in hand with the green accounting that we are developing as well. So we're going to be utilizing the sustainability journal for that purpose. And then they're adding countries and more user experience for adding a field and drag and drop multiple files into the client directly. But why cloud? What is all about the SaaS cloud journey? Why should we go there? Is it any need for it? Let's try to answer some of those questions. But before we can do that, we need to understand the three sort of different pillars on how you set up your system. On-premise, infrastructure as a service, or then software as a service, which is basically what Microsoft is offering in their Dynamics 365 Business Central platform. Now, on-premise is the way that everybody used to do it. Then the company had to manage basically everything: SQL servers, licenses, database maintenance and backups, set up a web server if that was needed, securing connectivity to those servers, buy additional storage as the system grew, etc., etc. Now, some maybe 15, almost sometimes even 20 years ago, some companies or even customers themselves decided they wanted to move some of this off-premise or to data centers and then to the cloud, as it then came to be known as, where the service and storage and networking was then managed by the owner of that data center or the cloud provider. But everything else was either managed still by the customer themselves or by partners if they were outsourcing this to companies like Companial, that was then One Click Factory. Wise had his own on Azure, our sister company, where then the partner or the customer was taking care of the application, the database backups, the SQL servers and the upgrades. But usually the upgrades was even also charged to the end customer itself. Especially the major upgrades. Minor upgrades were maybe included. But now when Microsoft decided to host this and offer this as a software as a service, that's changed this dramatically. So now the only thing that the customer or the end user needs to worry about is the data itself. The data is the only thing that he needs to be aware of or worry about or enter correctly. Everything else is then included in that one price. The backups, the security, etc. And furthermore, with that offering, Microsoft expanded the system quite a lot with Microsoft App Source, where we have more than, I think, 5,000 extensions to our Business Central application, and where you can download and install Wisefish application as well. Sandboxes or test environments, so you have 3 test environments to test different either new products or new companies even, or new extension that you want to try out. Try the next upcoming version even. You have a window to get familiarized with all the new changes coming in the next release waves. And then there are various features also that are not available anywhere else than from the SaaS offering. Like AI integration, those seamless Office integration is either not possible or difficult to set up in an on-prem environment. And then they have this cloud-first offerings as well, where they are introducing sort of first some new functionality in the cloud before they are made available on-prem. And it also changes sort of license cost. So now basically everything is included in the subscription. Even the Power Platform is included for embedding Power BI reports. You still need the Power BI Pro to use content like the Wisefish Insight content. You need a PowerPoint Pro license, because with the With the included, you're only allowed to utilize your own Power BI content, not content created by somebody else, even if it's in your own company. But everything else is included, sort of the BC maintenance, the hardware, etc. is all included there. And then in 2022, Microsoft launched this new commerce experience, which introduced even more changes to the pricing models, including potential cost savings for annual and multi-year commitment. So if you commit for a longer period, you get the licenses with even better discounts. If we try to wrap this up into what is the value of the cloud, if we wrap this up in a few key points, well, we covered the license cost, license differences. Hardware and infrastructure included, as I said. Microsoft handles all services required to keep Business Central running. The servicing the production environment itself, what does that really mean? That means no more upgrade project. BC is updated by Microsoft continuously and automatically. It has proactive monitoring or telemetry, which then Microsoft uses that to scale up and down your system when needed more resources. Application insights where we can monitor latency and even be proactive on responding to that long-running queries from within your environment. The rich capabilities, collaboration with Business Central data in Teams is one point. AI with Azure machine learning is another possibility. The company hub, which I explained, it's only available on SaaS. And then Microsoft has its own default Power BI reports where you can download and plug into and embed into your client seamlessly. And then easy sort of Power Automate workflow creations. High availability in disaster recovery. And this is probably extremely important, I would say, especially here in Iceland with all the latest earthquakes and volcanic eruptions going on. But that means that the hardware, the software, the networking, the data itself is monitored and backed up by Microsoft. Administrators can use the Admin Center to restore the environment to any specific point in time in the past 28 days. And they can also ask for backups directly from within the admin. So they can, if they want to have backup that is older than those 28 days, the administrator within each organization can basically just download those backups or make that into automated feature with the Power Automate. Each Business Central environment is also protected by automatic geo-redundant backups, meaning that, for example, if you look at it in Germany, your database is most likely in Berlin, but your backup is also in Frankfurt. Or if you're in Norway, then your database is most likely in Oslo, but your backup are both in Oslo and then Stavanger. So if any data center goes out completely, those backup are spun up automatically without you even noticing it. So in case of any sort of drastic events, you will still have access to your data. Now, in the service license agreement, the SLA, they guarantee uptime of 99.9% with discount on the license cost if it gets lower than that. But the global uptime in the last quarter on the Business Central platform itself was 99.98%, which is downtime of less than 2 hours for the whole year. So that's quite nice. The mobile and open API architecture for simple setup of mobile apps and integration with third parties. The additional usage rights software included, that means the SQL licenses and the embedded Power BI and the Windows licenses behind everything. And then compliance and security. Now, Microsoft routinely undergoes external audits and certification, ensuring that their services, including Business Central, comply with a wide range of international and industry-specific compliance standards, such as ISO 27001, 017, so forth and so forth, and has SOC 1 and 2 reports taken out as well. And then it's designed to comply also with the major global privacy regulations like the GDPR, or General Data Protection Regulation. But what about the return of investment? We often get asked this question, and obviously Microsoft has been asked this as well. So last October, they asked the Forrester Consulting to create this total economic impact report. And I can provide you with a link to that report as well if you want it. Well, they are studying the economical impact when going into the Business Central in the cloud. So they say that the return of investment is 172% with payback in only 7 months. And they created a sort of compositive company. So they set up with interviews this kind of virtual composited company, sort of fictional, with about 15 million in revenue, 150 employees, and 15 dynamic daily users. It primarily operates within the region of its headquarters, and it has customers and suppliers around the globe. So based on this kind of composite, they came up with those benefits. And here you can see a link to a report, and I can also send it to you later on. Just reach out, no worries. So you can study this one yourself. It's quite a lengthy report, but it's quite interesting, at least the executive summary on it. When you take Wisefish to SaaS, you have the option to add Wisefish Insight to your product suite. So Wisefish Insight, they are pre-built template apps, they are called in the Power BI world. And they are developed here by the Wisefish BI team, and users install them from their organizational app source portal. It allows the user to gain insight from data without investing time in creating or customizing your own Power BI reports, and provides a consistent, user-friendly experience across different teams. How do we do this? Well, the magic happens within an extension to Business Central called Wisefish Insights Connector, which you install from AppSource, and the set up the basic mappings of GL accounts like revenue and COGS, and some account schedules if you want to use those. But this basically extends the standard API. So what we are doing is extending the standard API from Business Central with specific endpoints that we have streamlined and optimized for reporting and BI. So here you can see the setup screen. And those are the current reports that we have on AppSource. So if you go into AppSource and you look for Wisefish and filter on the Power BI reports, you will get those apps. They come with a demo data, most of them, for testing and viewing. So you can install them as is into your Power BI environment. But if you want to connect to your tenant, you do that within the application itself, the Power BI application, by just entering the environment name and the company name of the company that you want to connect to. And it's homogenic design on all those reports. Here you see the finance. It has this real-time analysis on your data. You can collaborate in sharing. You can open this up in Excel and connect to the underlying data set to do even further analysis in a more sort of pivot kind of style, or do your own Excel reports. And then you are basically having a live Excel sheet that is connected to your Business Central data at any given time. So here we have some sample from the sales insights as well. And you can see the design is always similar. We have the filtering there to your left, the KPIs on top, and then different visuals. And then each application or report has various pages to browse through. Now we just released the inventory insight just before Christmas. And here you can also see the purchase insights. Now, many of our customers already taken the steps and migrated to the cloud. So here's one customer story where Ragnar attests to the convenience and impact of our solution, and noting the significant enhancement in efficiency and process management. He also highlights the crucial benefit of being able to access data anytime from any location, with aid in making informed decision, and stress the importance of traceability throughout the supply chain for smarter business planning and execution. As we say here, we sort of adapt faster, work smarter, and perform better. Wisefish has basically been run as a separate entity since January 2023, but our roots go back since 1995, basically. We have 80 plus customers now in 11 countries and supported by strategic partners globally. A nice statement here from Mike. He's the Vice President of Dynamics 365. Independent software vendors are pivotal to Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central platform. So we are driving innovation, specialization, and adaptability. As he says, as a key ISV, Wisefish exemplifies this by developing bespoke solutions for the seafood industry within the Business Central ERP. So we thank Mike for his kind quote. But that's basically what I wanted to show you today. So thank you for attending. and reach out to myself or my colleagues if you have any more questions or if you want the links to this ROI report, basically. So I would just want to say thanks for today. Have a beautiful upcoming weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.